Good afternoon.
How are you doing, sir?
We are in the busy period, but we are doing okay.
Now, of course, you are, well, the police is working on an action. At least letting people know what's happening as far as the parking is concerned. I know this has been an issue for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been reported several times by us in the press about the situation and the parking in Philipsburg in general, but on Front Street and the boardwalk as our principal problem. And the main issue we are being caught up with, that it's turning such a headache and it's nearly being uncontrollable. And our main point is that we, sooner or later, we spoke about it enough, and now it's time, most likely, we're going over to action. So this is one of those days that we're going to have this talk, and with seeing the situation, you're going to understand what the idea is and what we're going to plan to do in the following couple weeks.
Now, of course, you always get the, they have no parking, where you want me to park? You have no space, you get that all the time.
And you know what's funny about life? Anywhere else in the world you go, you have to park 5, 50, 100, maybe sometimes 500 meters away just to get where you're going. I know we have this, I call it a bad habit, that we want to park literally where we want to go, in front of the store. And if it lived to us, we would go in the store with a car if it's out of the vehicle itself.
Yeah, of course.
So,
but that's the thing, I think maybe we get spoiled over the years, because I'm sure that it's been a long time, and that person always, look for parking elsewhere and so on. So what's going to be the consequence?
Yeah, let's talk about the parking and location in particular. There are certain places whereby in Philipsburg, there's parking, paid parking,
like
in the government parking lot. And these are the issues we're dealing with daily. This is what I mean. This hinders a lot of the free flow of traffic. Imagine at the moment that the fire department has to pass in here, and the consequences of having this car blocking this part of the road at the moment.
Yeah. And then also I see there's
the van. So we're asking these persons, I know it's convenient, but these are the issues we have been speaking about over the last year.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so that's Backstreet.
That's Backstreet.
Now going through the alley.
And remember, Front Street is as the Dutch in algemene stopverbod, is a no parking stopping area.
Oh yeah?
It is.
It's news to me.
There's certain places, it's always been, there's certain places that you're allowed to drop off and pick up persons, that's always possible. But Front Street is a no parking area.
Okay.
There are certain persons who have private parking locations, but all of these are designated.
Okay. So let's say, for example, in this alley, going through Backstreet, going onto Front Street, there's a vehicle there.
There's a vehicle.
So is that supposed to be there?
According to me, legally, it shouldn't be there unless they have a unheffing as it's called, a permit. Perfect. So again, they should have a permit. I'm not sure if they do, but officially, if they don't have a permit, they shouldn't be here. This is a fire hazard. You understand? If anything in this alley is on fire, how would you get in here now?
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
They're blocking the entrance.
Okay.
We're on famous Front Street.
And
let's go down first. I think that's most of the area we want to go down here.
All right.
And again, today part of the road is closed, so you don't see it as much.
What about here?
There are certain places that are places you are legally to put your vehicle, but most of these places are mostly for deliveries also.
Oh.
So you could come here, park your van, park the truck, do your deliveries, and go. So those are not the biggest headaches we're dealing. We're dealing on those who literally On the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk itself. Okay.
I want you to. I want you to have my phone working too, pictures.
My friends and
Where you going?
Now, of course, you know, during the evening hours is mainly when, you know, persons take a chance.
that's not totally true. During the day lately is how they take a chance. It's during the day. Again, we get caught up with the fact that the police can't be everywhere. Right? Let's not play the fool. There's priorities and then there's priorities. The police can't be everywhere every moment, so during certain times, these guys take the chance knowing that the police are busy with other things to just park all over. And even though we speak to them 100 times in different languages, the answer is always, I'm just going there for a minute.
Now, of course, as far as the cones is concerned, like when is this police supposed to sit?
Let me tell you what the joke happened. You know, one thing caused the other.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that so much persons have been parking on the sidewalk, most of the owners of the properties have decided, you know, something to avoid this in front of my store, I'm going to put a cone. So the one causes the other effect.
Oh, so you could imagine when Front Street is full, the persons walking, they think that the cones are, you know, either by public works or by
None of the above.
police. No.
It's mostly from the owners of the properties.
Wow, okay.
So if one thing brings another problem for the other, and bring another reaction from the public.
Yeah, because everybody gonna take the law into their own hands, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this is the famous courthouse section of Front Street, and also the entrance to the famous boardwalk.
And again, for the taxis, they do cooperate the most of the time, they do. So we don't have much problem with them. There's also an agreement with them when they could come in, when they could move, and when the chain is down, how to deal with that. That's not an issue. But we're talking about most of those who like a park on the side. Again,
okay, so that's
imagine this being a fire department have to pass on this alley at the moment.
okay.
And how difficult it is just having that particular van there on the corner.
Okay. You see, so this is what you mean by, you know, persons doing what they want.
Yeah, for them it's convenient. I understand it's convenience.
Yeah, because it's close to the job or whatever.
Yeah, I will close wherever they're going.
Yeah. Okay, now, again, you know, people have the tendency of saying, hey, listen, give me 3 seconds, give me 5 seconds.
Give me 5 seconds. Now just going right there.
I just go in there for a couple of minutes. But of course, that is the problem. That's the main problem. Because
You know,
if everybody does it, it creates a chain effect.
I'm gonna even look at the cones. Eh? Remember, these are not cones placed by us.
Okay,
And this is a new phenomenon now that the parking on the sidewalk have brought with it.
Yeah, I see. But wow, I've never really noticed them until now.
You didn't notice, right?
Because, you know, I swear, I thought the police is the ones that.
Oh, no. If you notice, most of them advertise their stores and using that as the main way of stopping the others from parking on the sidewalk.
And of course, the different. Yeah, because usually parking happens here a lot.
Yes, and that's why these guys, whoever the business is, has gone over to doing this. It's a cause and effect.
All right. Okay, I see it. Now, as far as persons actually being fined for this, is it allowed?
And again, never. The fine is one of the last options we're using now lately. What we're gonna do, most likely, we're gonna have a conversation concerning the cones.
Yeah. The
community officer, so that's why I'm waiting on him also to reach. He's gonna have a conversation concerning the property owners concerning the cones, because you just can't take on your own and just close it off either.
Okay, so most of these cones are not supposed to be there.
No, they're not supposed to. I'm just saying, in not too much words, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Also, we talked about the alleys.
Yep.
And also the structures that being, yeah, well, yeah, like for example, look at here, there's not a car there.
There's the other alleys. I understand. Now, look at the two cars blocking the two alleys. Yeah, you understand? Nobody thinks about the risk if there's a fire in between the alley or to the last building.
Yeah.
How does the emergency service get there?
Yeah.
It sounds easy, yeah, but until something happened, then you would understand.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I'm pretty surprised.
Yeah, but again, if you never take the time and look at it, you would understand. Eh?
Yeah.
I understand most likely this is one of the owners them. He used most likely the sidewalk as his private parking.
Yeah. But you can't do that because this is again.
It is a public walkway. What we have noticed now, because of these tendencies, it forces most of the tourists to walk on the road.
Yeah. And while cars is also traffic, is ongoing traffic all
Yes.
the time, and that's why you said that it's supposed to be only for ongoing traffic.
Ongoing traffic.
Actually, when you look at this, the cones, it makes this place really look like bad.
It's something that just happened lately, and again, like I said, cause and effect. Eh? The owners don't want them parking in front of the store, but so to avoid that, they start with the cone project. That's what I call it.
Wow. And also, you have some stores that are closed. So right in front of the stores that are closed, people tend to also park in front of that store.
In front of the store.
That's not allowed.
Again, Front Street is no parking area with exceptions. There are locations that you can.
Okay.
But on the sidewalk is always a no-no. Let's start there.
Yeah. Like here, for example.
Here still, I think this was the old part of Seaview Hotel. I know this part was like the other hotels has a part whereby you could park. You could have just, but again, as usual, to drop off and pick up someone. That's where the taxis them use.
Yeah.
They use the corner to avoid stopping the free flow of traffic.
I see. And then what about the parking signs?
There are some signs around, but let's be specific. This is Romi's task always to replace them. The police have to just show where the signs have to go.
Yeah.
The police do not put up signs. Let's get that specific.
Okay, police does not
Put up signs.
Romy
Romi puts up the sign. We give advice where the sign should go.
All right. What about this car? This car is...
Again, the car, if you look at the sidewalk is clearly marked. The part of the sidewalk is where the contest where you'll be able to park. Even the road shows you how.
Okay.
If you notice, this is how, especially for the way the hotel was, so the clients could stop on the side, leave them out in the past. That was the idea behind it.
Behind it, yeah. But now it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because look, the same way you have tourists walking on the road while here.
While it had to be part of they could have passed.
They could have passed, yeah. Okay.
And we're going to go on this side of the road because these are the main issues we are having. Eh?
Yes?
These are the main issues.
Okay.
This is totally the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And now what it forces them closer to the shop or on the road?
Both. But more on the road.
More on the road.
Yeah. So this is what you mean by...
This is what I totally mean by using the sidewalk as your own private parking space.
Yeah. Okay.
As we go down a little further, you're going to see it only gets more complicated as we go. We're not going to go too far down, but it's just for you to see the idea that what effect it has.
And the cones.
And again, as one person see the cones, they're going to do the same thing going all the way down.
Does it, yeah. It cause the chain.
Cause and effect.
No, this is what I mean, where this business is closed, for example, and then you have a van there, so. Yeah.
The question is, where is he? On the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk. Yeah.
It's literally on the sidewalk.
What's up, my brother?
How you doing, sir? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We good. So we forcing. Guess now if there's a car here, a car vehicle there, where does the person who walks have to go?
On the road. And yeah, this is straight in front of the church. Oh my God, 4 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see
not even on the church. My point of view is it's on the sidewalk, people. It's on the sidewalk.
And it's not for a couple seconds.
As you could notice, these persons most likely are working or waiting for someone somewhere.
Yeah.
If you wait a couple of seconds, someone would be in the car waiting.
Yeah. And again, this is on the sidewalk.
Totally on the sidewalk.
Yes, on the sidewalk.
And now I'm enforcing me where do I have to go now?
Yeah, on the road.
But it's a concept of trying to get the public to understand it has its hazards. Huh?
Yeah.
It comes with its hazards.
And it does. I mean, just take a look at
And what it costs.
yeah, everybody just have to walk. And this is what, after 12 o'clock? What time is it?
And today it's good, and it's good still compared to the normal, yeah?
Really?
Yes, it is, because most of the time, now that the cones are there, it forces the cars to keep ahead driving.
Oh.
This time of the day, with this amount of tourists, this whole road will be full with cars, all the way up.
Okay, so what do you want the public to do?
Again, we want to cooperate. We're asking again. We've been asking for the longest a while to assist us in not doing this. This has effects on the emergency service if something happened. And it has a bad view for Philipsburg.
Yeah.
The question going to be, yeah, but where you want me to park? The $1,000 question, eh?
Yeah.
There are options if you want to walk, because you can't park by telling parking lot.
Yeah.
It costs you nothing.
Yeah.
Or you go to the paid parking lot, or there's free parking lot on the back of on the Nisbet Road.
Yeah, and the post office also.
Post office parking lot.
Yeah.
So there are possibilities, but the question is, do you want to?
Yeah. I see what you mean. Now, of course, the going into, well, we are in the busy season, so it means that this doesn't help.
This just makes our job a little more complicated. And with that being said, we have reached nearly the end of our rope. We have been tired of talking and conversating and explaining. Sooner or later, you're going to reach a point whereby you have to do something about it. And you can consider it a warning, you can consider it a fact, but we are going to take care of this problem sooner or later.
Yeah.
Our conversation a while ago, most of us don't want the cars on Front Street as long as it's not our car.
Correct.
They don't want the police talking about our car, anybody else's car.
Everybody else. Yeah. Correct.
Not my own.
Yeah. And that causes again a trickle effect, because at the end of the day, it becomes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just count 6 cars.
6 cars. And the question is, if I find this particular person, guess what the first question is going to be? Why me?
Why me
and not they?
Yeah. Why not me? Yeah. Okay.
We're trying to dumb down the risk of scooters in and out of Philipsburg because of the robberies we had down Maho and those places. So in the next coming weeks, for sure also, any scooter that comes into Philipsburg would be tackled there. We're going to try to stop and control.
Okay.
As long as the possibility is there, we're going to stop and control. Again, today is a good day. I don't see much vehicles on the boardwalk, but normally this also is one of the places that we get a lot of headaches with during normal operations, whereby people come on the boardwalk. We understand that you have to do deliveries. My advice is always coordinate this with a community officer. I know the businesses have to go ahead and make their turnover, but if you coordinate this could be easily fixed, that everybody knows how to be on the boardwalk every 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Boardwalk has this main issue whereby if there's a tourist area, if someone is not being observant, they can be struck by one of these vehicles that uses the boardwalk as their place to get the driveway.
But I mean, police have been monitoring this for quite some time, and what really made you step up the action now to actually let people know that they should stop these type of practices, because they know it's wrong. Well, I would hope so, that they know that because if you have a vehicle, that means you went to drive-in school, and I'm sure they told you about the rules. Is this also part of the second-hand vehicle park there?
Again, I see that they're busy with the construction.
Yeah.
If you're going to park here, most likely he's going to need a permit also as normally. So most of the time, that's also regulated.
Okay.
But at the end of the story, it's mostly those who come, drive, park, as if this is their own personal parking space.
Okay. Now, of course, the city said of the action.
Yeah, let's talk about the action a little bit.
Let's talk about that.
The different divisions have come up with a plan for the next coming weeks, and that's why we're asking again to avoid the long faces, the anger, and the discussions. We are asking most of those who are coming to Philipsburg to use the legal parking spaces.
Yeah.
I'm specifically seeing on the legal parking spaces.
Emphasis on legal.
Illegal.
Yeah.
The sidewalks, the alleys are not the legal parking spaces.
Yeah.
They just hinder giving the community officer and the police only more extra headaches that they don't need. And it is a safety issue. They don't see it. They say it as a convenient issue, but it is a safety issue.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, we had different examples whereby they had vehicles blocking entrances where, you know, if there's a fire breakout or the ambulance has to come, or even police has to respond to something, they can't even go into the
Can't go through the alleys.
And that connects everything.
And it is, like I said again, it has a reaction because the shop owners, the business owners are going to do something else to combat that effect of having their businesses blocked by vehicles.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine that, you know, persons would keep driving on the boardwalk
You would be
during
amazed.
the day.
You would be amazed.
I mean, at night, you know, I see, you know, some people take a chance because, you know, the way it's connected, you don't have any boulders, you know, stopping you. So you just take the chance. But that it happens.
There was, it was decided in certain locations where you could have come onto the boardwalk where there was no signage. Specifically, that was one of the places we decided, you know, something at the beginning at the small pier in the beginning, not to put signs there telling them, listen, you can't go in there to come on the boardwalk. Guess what? What's the use of having a sign and no one really thinks it's not? What value does it have?
Yeah.
And the question gonna be, yeah, but where your police? What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
We can't be all over.
It can't be all over. And you know, sometimes you need citizens to be responsible.
And this is for asking for the responsibility. Be the good corporate citizen.
Yeah.
It's all about that alone.
Yeah.
The police are not there to go find no one. Believe me, that's not our first choice.
Yeah.
We prefer that let's conversate about this. Let's have a talk about this. Let's explain why we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. And,
It's a carrot and the stick, eh? The stick is the last thing you want to always use.
yeah. But you know, once they notice that there's no consequence.
The consequences,
you
yeah.
know, people take chances, and I guess that's where it falls.
And the consequences is not the issue. The issue is mostly where the blast back to get to the police, when the police stop in particular, me or you.
Yeah.
As long as it's not me, do your job as long as it's not me.
You know, that's a good slogan. I think the police should use that.
Kung parari ba square miss. Okay?
Yeah. Making deliveries. Yeah.
And we ask them also concerning these times, please coordinate it with the community officer, he's on his way now, to avoid them coming doing deliveries in the peak hours.
Yeah. This is peak hours.
This is peak hours.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, of course, you know, like you say, the police can't be everywhere.
Can't be everywhere. Again, this is the community officer of Philipsburg. Mr. Martes, welcome.
Steph, how are you doing?
I'm good. Mr. Andrew? We were just conversating about the situation in the front street, about the parking in particular, about the new phenomenon with the cones.
Yeah,
we
the
noticed that too.
cones, yeah.
The one cause the other effect.
We didn't even know that. that, yeah.
The store owners also want to put on the cones to avoid the vehicles and to park in front of the stores, you know, to disturb them for the flies and to walk also in town. So that's the situation actually in town. Also got a situation with deliveries, where the guys didn't come any hours at a time, park on the sidewalk to deliver the stuff, you know. Basically on that we make an agreement with them between 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. They could delivery, I go leave them park, delivery, I park, you have to park in the parking space, yes, deliver the stuff, and after that time, once we have 4 shifts in town, 4 and up, we close Philipsburg for this kind of thing, just for the tourism to use. Yes.
Yeah. But it doesn't help also though that they have cars on the side of the vehicle because you know they come early and they park and they leave you know afterwards.
Yeah, the most of the time when we see a car just is disturbing the free flow.
Yeah.
We check the number plate, we send it to the central, see if we can run it up, see if it was the owner. The owner call, tell the owner, please come in the vehicle. Till we get through the situation with the tour, you know.
Yeah.
So that we try to use the least drastic measures first.
Yeah.
The least.
Yeah.
But then again, sooner or later, you reach the end of the rope, and we're about to reach the end of the rope, and we're about to tackle this a little forceful, showing them that we have to do this.
Yeah.
Because right now, it seems that we don't have no control. And that is something community officers dealing with, communications dealing with, the police force is dealing with at the moment. I keep ahead repeating myself, be a good corporate citizen, let's get rid of this problem. If you don't need to be in Philipsburg, then don't come. If you're coming, use the legal parking space that is designed for. Again, trying to tell you to move the cones, you got a cause and effect to buy. Now you're going to get the fellas to come and park on the sidewalk again.
Move the cone is something serious, right? That's what I was saying. You know, there's also the security. I follow them up before now. There's something happening, they won't call it. So you know, this is also the security step from something. You leave like the security breaks it. Who talking? Seriously? So security guard, just tell them, no, sir, you can't park. And it was just be. You want to have a phone, or we can come inside? You can inside here, one of the stores here, when we go. When the stores are no, or what? Which one? Are you good? Anyone? We can go inside.
Let's go.
We can come inside in a bottle.
We're going here? A minute?
Yep. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You good? We are just on a small news press concerning Front Street in particular, myself as the communication director and the community officer, with the parking situation that is a disaster on the sidewalk. So that is what we're really dealing with the press now at the moment, trying to tell the population that we need to get this problem solved.
The parking is one, but you know, if you look at the street, for elderly people, they're gonna trip. They're constantly, you know, it's very uneven. You see the cobblestone. That needs to be addressed because on a daily basis, people are tripping.
Yes. So, but again, the issue is the cars that are on sidewalk forces people on the road, and that's our main plight at the moment.
Yeah. So that needs to get addressed big time.
Yes.
But the bollards that we used to have were a great option.
Were a great option, but they decided to change it, so it was something that we are also dealing with at the moment.
Bollards would have been a great option.
Been a great option.
Yeah.
Thanks again, eh?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
It's been enlightening, and I hope that the public pay attention and also refrain from. As we speak, look, there's a car right there.
Yeah, it is an issue that you try to deal with, and you know what's going to happen tomorrow. Somebody's going to put a cone there.
Yeah, and then it causes the ripple effect.
Yeah, ripple effect.
Yeah. Park where you're supposed to park, people.
The girl them taking back shots. I said the girl them like their back shots. You don't know this about Chubby, and I'm here to endorse the thing called Outside Again in St. Martin this coming February the 25th. So here what? Get your tickets because Collision Man will be coming to you to rock you and jam you in St. Martin. You don't know, enough DJs gonna be there, Grandmasters, skillful band, and you don't know the Teflon band's gonna be in the building to rock you. So get your tickets, come on out, Sink It's Massive are looking for you, Anguilla Massive. You don't know, ride it, bounce on it, y'all. Let me see you bounce on it, y'all. We ramping hard. Get your rags and get your flags and come in at the band. You don't know. See you guys in St. Martin on the 25th, Moonlight Bar with it. So what?
Okay, kids, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? I know you're not here to see my pretty face. You're here to find out what is happening, what is going on. You're hearing all kind of different things. It's okay. You come to the right place. Let me break it down. So, 3 meetings of Parliament took place on Friday. Good? All right. The first one had to do with the continuation of GEBE. Not important right now because, as we expected, the Prime Minister came with some answers. He couldn't give more information concerning what was going on at GB, so they're going to deal with it, they're going to work on it, and basically it was postponed until further notice. All right, that to the side. Secondly, short-term contracts was discussed in a committee of VSR meeting in Parliament. The Minister of VSR, Omar Otley, was there present. He gave a whole presentation about what is happening when it comes to the short-term contracts, the abuse, and what he is proposing in order to make the short-term contract better. That, of course, was nice pleasantries back and forth between the minister, members of parliament giving their concerns, and it's going to move to the later stage. The third meeting is what everybody was looking forward to because that was the continuation of the meeting with the Minister of Romy, Egbert Duran, who was facing a motion of no confidence by the PFP faction in Parliament. Now, the meeting started off with the United People's Party Member of Parliament, Ludmilla de Weaver, basically going independent. It was a surprise to many. Why? Because she was asked this on numerous occasions, and she never alluded that she was going to leave the party. But she did say many times during interviews that we should not exclude anything. So this is what happened at the start of the meeting in Parliament today.
First off, MP William Marlin, you were sorely missed, very much so. So it is an absolute pleasure to welcome you back here on the floor of Parliament with us. And Madam Chair, my notification is just one of gratitude to say thank you to the Prime Minister for always being supportive, to say thank you to you for your impartiality. Where we have gone has been separate. A definite thank you to the United People's Party for letting me be part of them and being here to represent the people of St. Martin. But things are no longer aligned, and with that, I will have to declare my independence. Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady.
Thank you, MP.
Okay, so it basically means, yes, she has declared herself independent because she doesn't believe in the leadership of Rolando Bryson as leader of the United People's Party. So that means yet another member of this particular coalition goes down, and there is an independent member, so that means 2 members left within recent months. First one was Ludmina Duncan of the National Alliance. This time it's Ludmina the Weaver. Yes, 2 Luddies, 2 independent members, 2 different faction offices, and yeah, it's getting interesting. Many people are saying that these factions that are being created in Parliament is causing a lot of taxpayers more money because they would have to be getting their own staff. And I would say that is job creation because then more people are getting jobs. Thank you for going independent. We trust you even more now. We have 6 members of Parliament who are independent people. I don't want to stray away from the meeting, but let me just say it how it is. 6 people. 6. No, it's 5. We expect somebody else to go independent, which is the president of the Parliament, but we're going to go to that a little later on. Let me go back to the meeting. So after that, the minister had to deliver some answers. So he gave his answers. Nobody really was listening to his answers because everybody just wanted to do the vote. Now, I have to start the clap. Why? Because 15 members of Parliament were present today in the Parliament meeting. This is unorthodox. This is the first time from the year that we have 15 members of Parliament actually being there present in a meeting of Parliament. That don't happen very often in St. Martin. Yes, they were elected. Yes, 15 members were elected, but most of them don't show up for work, only when they really need to. Like, we had Member of Parliament William Marlin present. He's been off island for quite some time. Now he is present because he had to save his party member, Egbert Duran. All right? Now, the motivations of the votes. Very important that you listen very keenly. I selected some of the members that motivated their vote, so listen very keenly to that.
Madam Chair, I took this time because I wanted to read a motion that was passed here in Parliament in my time of motivating my vote, Madam Chair. It says, draft motion, the Parliament of St. Martin, in its meeting of today, September the 30th, 2015, considering the government of St. Martin is oblivious to the urgent needs of the people of St. Martin, such as healthcare, security, pension, employment, and housing, to name a few. The blatant disrespect for the Parliament of St. Martin, the unattainable situation at most government companies and other entities such as Cadastre, St. Martin Housing Development Foundation, the lack of leadership in and by government, the absence of measurable programs of government. Resolve that the GUMS cabinet consisting of Minister Marcel Gums, Marcel Hacken. I just wanted to read that, Madam Chair Lady, because, Madam Chair, in 2015, this motion was passed by Sylvia Jacobs, Frank Richardson, Christopher Emmanuel, George Pantoflet, Sylvia Matza, William Marlin, Sarah Westcott Williams, Tamara Leonard. No, the ones who passed the motion, Madam Chair, was Sylvia Jacobs, Frank Richardson, Christopher Emmanuel, George Pantoflet, Sylvia Matza, William Marlin, and Sarah Westcott Williams. Madam Chair, what we are witnessing here today, and what we have been witnessing over the past months, this motion, Madam Chair, midgets in comparison to all what is happening in this country. Madam Chair, for this reason, I am voting for this motion.
Being a member of Parliament, before that, I'm a Rotarian too. And the first line in Rotary 4-bit test we read is it fair to all concerned? I know the minister himself is not responsible for many actions. He has a team that plays there. So I cannot just label him as the total culprit. If there's any criminal activities, there's Justice Department to look into, and I hope they will look into that. But for me, he's not alone to be blamed. So I will not go against him.
Madam Chair, having brought the motion, obviously I'm supporting it, but I just wanted to state for the public to know, there was never really a criminal investigation at hand. As my colleague just explained, the Ombudsman put there by Parliament conducted an investigation into the process, the procedures, and the goings-on of a ministry and government. Political responsibility and accountability don't just come into play when there is a criminal investigation. This is actually the role of Parliament to be judge and jury on the actions of a government towards its population. So to state that that's not what we're here to do, well, then maybe you should not be here. That being said, Madam Chair, in the interest of accountability and in the interest of recognizing that when you take a role, you are taking on all responsibility for that role, even what is done by the persons under you. Because we talk a lot about the Netherlands and what they say about us, the Toeslagen affair, etc. But everyone has been held accountable regarding that incident, even the person that was not in charge when the issue occurred. And that is what integrity actually is, recognizing that you are responsible for the actions of those below you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Gums. Next for motivation, I see MP Bryson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the minister, in the last time he was here, my grave concern was the fact that information was eventually made available to Parliament, that when you finally look at the actual information, all of the allegations that turn out to be completely baseless. You notice since I've pointed that out on the screen regarding Parcel 5, you haven't heard a peep about that anymore. Missing bank statements had nothing to do with Aviana getting that parcel. Everybody is quiet. And all it took is a couple minutes of reading the actual information. Madam Chair, if a motion is coming from a party that has proven that they would go to any lengths, illegally recording ministers, we have a civil servant that they claim to care for right across from us, pressuring him to give information, and when he doesn't march to the beat of their drum, all of a sudden, he's a founding member and he needs to leave. Madam Chair, that is an essence of an issue that I have with this. I looked at this entire process completely from the perspective of the evidence before us and the information provided, but also from the position of the minister to be willing to apologize, like all of us, like I have done, to admit, yes, I can do better, that I will do better. That is important as well, Madam Chair. But if we see that some, on the one hand, talk integrity, but completely act the other way, that has a measure in the weight of the motion and who has brought it forward. So, Madam Chair, I am in support of this minister continuing as long as he keeps in mind that you have to acknowledge that you are new to this. You will make mistakes, but do not ever let them be intentional. Learn from them, grow, because the people of St. Martin want to know that leaders are not there feeling that it is an entitlement. You were there because you served. You got votes, but you didn't accept your seat in Parliament. So now you're back down to zero, and you are just a servant of the people. And Madam Chair, if that ever changes, any minister will lose my support. If this minister has that, he'll continue to have my support. Thank you.
Madam Chair, me and this minister joined the National Alliance at the same time, 2018. We both had to come up in front of the Congress and introduce ourselves. And I remember how confident the minister was. I wasn't as confident as him. I knew that he would get in. I knew that he had the strength to get in. Madam Chair, I'm sitting now next to the great MP Marlin here, who himself was sent home after Irma. Whether that was the right decision or not, those who did what they did, can respond to that. Everyone has a different perspective. As a member of Parliament, Madam Chair, who came in, yes, thanks to the ministers who are now there going into the government, I had to ask myself, what am I going to stand for? And it's going to be principles of good governance. When I am in the seat across from me, Madam Chair, I expect to be held accountable too. I don't have no problem with that. Whether it is the people saying maybe I'm not doing a good job or the members of parliament, I expect to be held accountable too.
At the very beginning of this meeting, in fact, going back to an earlier meeting, I expressed my grave concern with the way that this ministry has been dealing with reports from the Ombudsman. I remember in the first instance when the minister came out and lashed out at the Ombudsman, I was one of those who spoke out and spoke out very direct because I thought that we were heading into a wrong direction like that. Whether we like the persons who hold any of those offices, High Council of States, at any given time, Madam Chair Lady, or not, fact is they represent that office. And if we are going to start to place doubt on the functioning and the credibility of these institutions, again, we're heading down a slippery slope. So, Madam Chair Lady, nothing today from the minister gave me that feeling of that relationship being bettered in the future. To the contrary. To the contrary. So, Madam Chair Lady, with that final remark on this topic, nothing here this afternoon gave me the feeling of that relationship with the Ombudsman's office, that will be better going forward, and that there is some understanding for what has been presented to Parliament.
Madam Chair, I also had a radio interview in which I said this matter was handled actually completely wrong. And when I say completely wrong, one can clearly see that the objective was let's count the numbers, see where we stand, and let's get at this minister. Madam Chair, if you really want to hold the minister accountable, what is holding the minister accountable? Condemning him before you hear his side of the story? Or do you call in the parties involved and get clarity? Madam Chair, when I looked at the first round, most of those who requested the meeting came out and made statements only. So in actuality, they didn't want to hold the minister accountable. They had already made up their minds. We are going to bring a motion against this minister and get rid of him. Madam Chair, the minister acknowledged that there are things he could have done differently. There are things he would definitely do differently in the future. He has made an effort to correct some mistakes that were made. But Madam Chair, interesting is, if the members of Parliament would hold themselves accountable, they would apologize for rushing into things and condemning the the on something that they did not even pay proper attention to. That the documents that were missing, or supposedly missing, had nothing to do with the parcel that the contractor won.
I decided literally to take the role of a juror. A juror they're in charge of the responsibility of deciding whether, on the facts of the case, a person is guilty or not guilty of the offense of which he or she has been charged with. For me, it was like, at that point, watching a tennis match. Minister started with his opening remarks and statements and turned left. The MPs asked their questions, and it continued so, and I digested and took my time. I would like to state that this systemic investigation has turned this country into a pure and utter chaos. This systemic investigation at this moment casts now a dark shadow on the integrity of this country. Let me set the scene for you. The Ombudsman is like the detective. She did her work, she provided Parliament with the findings for her investigation. The Minister of Rami, according to her findings, you stand accused of approving a bidding process that was unfair and not transparent. And how did you plead? You came here, you said, not guilty. But when a person is not guilty, they must show some sort of remorse, humility. Most importantly, it needs to be backed and supported by solid facts and justifications for their innocence. I sat here as a juror and I depended on the MPs to pull the truth out of you. Some of the MPs literally fed you with information to assist you, and I meticulously watched and listened and cross-checked everything you said in the People's House of Parliament. And what did I get? During your initial response, you literally threw your entire staff under the bus. Oftentimes, it's not me, it's them attitude. There is no accountability for your actions, a blatant disregard for your role as the leader of your ministry. Because of the fact still remain, the ultimate decision lies with you, Minister. MP Bryson pleaded with you to not to shatter the faith, not to shatter his faith in you. Show some respect, show some contrition, he said, to Parliament and the Ombudsman. But one thing MP Bryson forgot is that you needed to show also respect and contrition to the people of St. Martin. When it comes to providing family and friends with opportunity, I would be the one to understand this the most. Whether they're your family, your friends, or they are all citizens of the country, and they are afforded a right to have any opportunity presented to them. Why should I, of all people, know this? It's simple. I've been related to a perfect example, the Watties, for close to 30 years now. And I've seen many of Claude's grandchildren, mainly, those who wanted to do something for themselves, get sidelined because of their name and because who they're related to. But if you're going to request for anything, especially from government, you better make sure you follow the right channels, the proper channels, and not use any political influence to get you what you at times rightfully deserve. But Minister, there are way too many smoke screens surrounding this particular bidding. Your plea and lack of facts and unclear justifications. I can't in good conscience support what you have presented in Parliament here today, and with that, I too will be voting for the motion. I see that there's another MP that would like to have motivation, and I would like to give the floor then to MP Pantaflet.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to the Chair, my colleagues, Parliament, Honourable Minister and the support staff, those who are viewing and those who are listening. Madam Chair, is one thing I have learned in life is not to prejudge and not to accept one-sided stories. The impression, Madam Chair, is created as if, let me speak for myself, disrespecting the Ombudsman. Well, Madam Chair, a report was done by the Ombudsman, and it appears as if I, as a member of Parliament, had no right to question the report. Because it's the Ombudsman that's the judge, jury, and executioner altogether. What the Ombudsman says is a fact, because they are not human beings and they can't make errors. Madam Chair, I asked a very important question. Were there any investigations done prior to how the bidding process took place? That was not answered. Ombudsman feel that they should not do so, Madam Chair.
Okay, so you heard from them. So now let me go down to the vote. Who's voting for? Who's voting against?
MP Bryson.
Against.
MP Chanel Brownbill.
Against.
MP Solange Duncan.
For.
MP Christophe Emmanuel.
For.
MP Melissa Gums.
For.
MP William Marlin.
Against.
MP George Pantaflet.
Against.
MP Rayan Peterson.
For.
MP Hyacinth Richardson.
Against.
MP Angelique Rameau.
Against.
MP Ludmila De Weaver.
For.
MP Sarah Westcott Williams.
For.
MP Akeem Arundel.
Against.
MP Siddharth Bijlani.
Against.
Chair Lady of Parliament Grisha Helga Martin.
For.
The vote is 7-4 and 8 against. That means the motion has not been, it has been rejected. And if there is, yeah, that's it.
Fighting for. And when the opposition gets in position, they forget about the poor. Position. It's funny how things don't change. We have some in position, don't have no permission to make a decision for change. Tell them you ain't joking. If they come in, they better come straight. But if they come in, look in position, don't come in front your gate.
Touch me, touch me. Come on, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me. I'ma make it clear. I like what you're doing when you do your thing. Touch my life, but don't go too far. Your eyes are speaking. I feel what you feel. Ooh la la, I can't believe this. Ooh la la, no one getting your kisses. Ooh la la, this ain't real. This some kind of deal. Ooh la la, feel so strong. Ooh la la, feel so wrong. Ooh la la, hold me responsible for it. I'm about to do it, yeah. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. Quand tu me touches, touche-moi là. Ooh la la, ooh la la.
Baby, j'ai trouvé ton point sensible. En cas ouais, ça qu'a fait au plaisir. Et dis-moi ça ou qu'a ressenti. For real, my lady. Girl, let me touch you, you are the first one. Me never left you for someone. You don't need another one. Let me touch you there, let me touch you there. You can believe this. Let me give you a kiss. Baby girl, laissez-moi toucher. Manquez caresser. You are me baby, yes, you are me lady. You are me wife for life. Oh,
Touch me there. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. Quand tu me touches, touche-moi là. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la. Quand tu me touches, touche-moi là. Ooh la la, ooh la la. Touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me.